Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews. Today we're talking about Number Drop. This is from AEG Games. It's designed by Florian Sirius and Benoit Turpin. And this is a game all about kind of these Tetris-style shapes that are falling into place, but they all have numbers on them as well that you're trying to arrange in certain ways so you can get the maximum amount of points. And then we have a quick overview of how to play. All right, here's our setup for Number Drop. We've got a series of 5 dice. 4 of them are numbered, and then 1 of them is a shape dice. We also have this large pad of scorecards. Every player is going to get one of these at the start of the game. We also have 10 of these tiles. What we're going to do is we're going to randomly select 5 of them, and the other 5 can return to the box. What we are trying to do is we are trying to fill in our board from the bottom to the top as efficiently as possible. Also, what we're going to do is we're going to fill in all these different numbers onto the shape that we rolled onto our board. And we can put those numbers in anywhere we want. What we're really trying to do is we're trying to organize sets of either numbers all in a row, like a set, like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, something like that, or a collection, so like 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, something like that. The bigger of the streak that you get, the more points you're going to get. But also, if you don't start at the smaller ones, you're going to get some penalties in the shape of these letters over here, or those tiles over here. We're also going to start off with just one number on the board based off of our player order. So we'll just put a 1 somewhere on here. And also, because it's kind of like a video game-based thing, you get a chance to put your 3-digit initials or 3 different things you can want. I'll start with mine. Let's see. That was what I put in for all the arcade games I played as a kid. So now let's just get started and roll some dice. All right, we've got a square shape. We also have a 1, 3, a 7, and an asterisk. That asterisk is going to count as a wild for now. So somewhere on our board, we need to make a square of those numbers. We've already got a 1 on our board here. We just rolled another 1. We can even use our wild as a 1 or a 2. Let's see what that looks like. Let's do a 1 here. Let's do a 1 for our wild. Let's put a 3 and a 7 over here. Now we've got 1, 2, 3 1s all in a row. If we wanted right now, we could circle this. Let's just go ahead and do that. We're also going to box up those tiles, showing that they've already been used for one combo. Each number can only be used in one combo. All right, let's do one more turn just to show you that again. All right, so once more we have a square. This time we have a 4, 5, a 1, and an asterisk. We could use the asterisk as a 6, and then we could put that there, put our 5, our 4, and our 1 again. Now, if we had waited, we could have used that 1 and made it as part of a 4 combo, but this is still going to work. So now we have a 7, 6, 5, and a 4 all ready to go. We could box that up as a 4 run right now, or we could wait until later. Hopefully we can drop a 3 or some more letters around there, or some more numbers around there. We could box that up as a combo for our 4 run here, 7, 6, 5, 4 right now, or we could wait till later and hopefully we can get some 3s and 2s, maybe wrap that around to the 1, so we can get a really big combo down here. When you roll one of those asterisks, those wild dice, you can use that as any number between 0 and 9. Now, the dice normally only have 1 through 7 on them. They're kind of obviously special. They're not normal D6s. So 0, 8, and 9 are not present on the dice numerically. However, a 0 or the asterisk can be used as that in order to make bigger and larger runs. So there's 5 phases to each round. Firstly, we're going to roll the dice. Then we're going to drop the blocks like we kind of did, putting them in spot from top to bottom. And then what we're going to do is we're going to check if there's any asterisks rolled, if anybody has both of their top lines circled. If they do, if someone had this situation, they would circle this. And then now what would happen is whatever symbol is in this spot, the A spot that matches the A over here, is going to drop on every other player with X's on it. So let's say we hadn't had that filled out yet. Someone already did have that row filled out. Someone rolled an asterisk. And now we have to cross this off. We have to drop that shape somewhere on our board with X's. That is going to help us fill up our rows. However, there's going to be X's, so we can't actually use those in any of our sets of runs. Having to drop those letter tiles are essentially penalties, so you want to try to avoid those if you can. And then once that's done, you flip it over, and you don't go back to that board until the same situation where it happens where there has been a asterisk rolled, and the next set of items has been filled in by at least one player. The fourth phase, of course, is just circling your combos. You can do one combo per turn. If you're able to do that, those are going to be the points that you're going to score at the end of the game. And, of course, you're going to circle the associated combo that you took. And at the end of the round, what you're going to do is you're going to look to see if you filled in any rows. If you filled in a complete row, you get to circle that, and you get extra points at the end of the game. The game is going to end once one person has built all the way up and has crossed over that game end line. That's going to be negative points for them at the end of the game. All the completed points are going to be positive points, but whoever crosses over that, for however high they go, they're going to get negative points. The scoring is simply, you're going to add up all of your rows, the positive markers minus your negatives, and you're going to add that in here. All of the different sets you've got, you're going to add those up, put those here. If you did all 5 of them, you're going to get a bonus 10 points. Same thing with the runs. If you're able to get all 5 of those, you're going to get a bonus 10 points. And you add up all those things, and you put there the total. There's also one opportunity for you to do either an 8 set or an 8 run. If you're able to complete that, you're going to get 8 points. You put that there. You're going to add up all those totals, and whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins.
One of the things I like about this game is in the first couple of rounds, there's really no good or bad. You're just setting yourself up. You're just trying to prepare for the future because eventually the numbers at the bottom you're not going to be interacting with because you would have scored those already. So I like that it's not like the first move is a killer move and if you don't do it right, you're totally going to suck for the rest of the game. But you can still set yourself up to do well. So I liked that the first couple of rounds, you're really just setting yourself up and it's not like you're already screwing yourself over in the very beginning. So, like that.
There's a little bit of a push your luck aspect to this game as you are kind of setting up your different tiles at the bottom, or tiles, but that's what I call them in my head. These shapes at the bottom of your board because you want to arrange them in such a way that you're going to get the maximum amount of points.
Yeah.
You can cut your losses and do a small combination of points, but then you're much easier to cover things up and you kind of keep on moving on. Or you can try to set it up in such a way that things are going to call on them in the future. You can only score each size of combo once. So like a size 3 run or a size 3 set, you're going to do that once per game. So like, do you do it now or do you wait till you do it later when you're kind of tied into a corner? I like the kind of that push your luck of that when you want to score those certain things. It's a really thinky part of this game.
Along with that, right? So you're filling these things up and you kind of almost sometimes want to do the smaller things because you don't want to get penalized later when that special die gets rolled and you get a weird shape because that happens to me all the time and it totally messes everything up, but it's because I'm trying to go for these big scores, right? And so early on, I'm getting all of these, but later on in the game, I've gotten some of those big strings, and so it's going to mess up other people, but you kind of have that you want to do both. Like, you want to get these huge strings, but you also want to get the little ones, so that way you don't get penalized, but you kind of want to do it all, but you can't really do it all, but sometimes you think you can do it all, so maybe you can do it all. Every time. That's my thought process. Every time.
I like how you're always progressing this game. You're starting from the bottom, and these tiles just kind of keep on building up, building up, building up. You're always moving closer and closer towards the end of the game. There's not going to be a point where this game stalls out, or things like that. Like in Tetris, the game itself, was just based off of. Once you play a perfect line, it disappears. This doesn't happen. You're always building up, so you're always kind of moving towards the end of the game. But you don't really want to be the one who triggers the end of the game because it means that you're going to get some negative points if you're in that top upper part of the score sheet. So I like that the pacing of the game is always forward.
Okay, so when I was introduced to this game, I saw the box and I was like, okay. But then I saw how the game actually played and I'm like, oh my gosh, I think that Ryan would really like this game. And so it's been sitting, waiting for us to get to it so we could play it, so we could talk to you about it. And Ryan's like, like almost exactly like that, like verbatim, just that, But I was right. So if you have somebody in your life that likes like numbers and is very good at spatial reasoning, which I am not, doesn't mean I wasn't able to enjoy it because I was. But if you know somebody who just loves stuff like that, oh my gosh, this is their game.
And okay, so I will say that obviously this is based off of Tetris, so that's kind of a very retro game. So they went with a kind of a retro aesthetic. However, that stark retro aesthetic is what made me not interested in the game, which is weird. I love Tetris and I love those kind of games. So it was just like very easy to be like, okay, this is not calling to me.
Yeah.
That being said, once I played it, all those numbers and everything worked perfectly. I loved all that math. I love that kind of systematically placing everything. The rulebook was a little bit, for as simple as a concept as this is, the rulebook was a little bit weird to get through. I didn't like the way it was laid out, I guess. It took a little longer than it should have for something that was this clear. The game itself was that clear. So, that being said, once you're playing this and once you're in the thick of it, it is really, really fun to try to organize that in certain ways. All your plays are meaningful. All your plays are enjoyable. And you're trying to fit everything in while still getting the maximum amount of points, which is a blast.
Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see our videos as they come out. Until then, you can find us in all of these places.
Yes, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. You guys, thanks so much for watching. This game was provided to us by a publisher in exchange for a fair and honest review.
And if you want to see more stuff, check out over here to see something we think you might like.
And over here, we think that YouTube has picked out a great video for you you're going to love. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.